Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today's video is very special because we are exploring 5 classic coins from different years and 2 countries. You will see US Lincoln pennies from 1966, 1981, 1986, and 1996, along with a Canadian 1-cent coin from 1996. Each coin has its own history, metal story, and collector value. Some look common, but hidden details can change everything. So watch till the end, because small coins often carry big surprises. Let's begin our coin journey. First UP. The 1966 United States Lincoln penny is one of the most historically significant coins in American numismatics. At first glance, it may appear to be just another 1-cent coin, but its story tells us much about government policy, economic pressures, and social change during the 1960s. The mid-1960s were a time of transition in the United States. The country was experiencing significant social change, with civil rights movements, economic adjustments, and rapid technological growth reshaping daily life. Coins like the 1966 Lincoln penny silently circulated through this changing society, quietly witnessing history. The most unique feature of the 1966 penny is that it carries no mint mark. This was not an accident. From 1965 through 1967, the U.S. Mint intentionally removed mint marks from all circulating coins. This unusual policy aimed to reduce coin hoarding by collectors, which had become a serious problem during the coin shortages of the early 1960s. The 1966 Lincoln penny was struck in large quantities at both the Philadelphia and Denver mints, but neither coin bears a mint mark. Despite its high mintage, this coin is highly valued by collectors today for its historical significance and the story behind the missing mint marks. In terms of composition, the 1966 penny consists of 95% copper and 5% zinc, representing the classic pre-1982 copper era. This gives the coin a rich reddish-brown color, especially when well preserved. Unlike later copper-plated zinc pennies, these coins are more durable and develop a distinct patina over time. The obverse side features Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States, facing right. Lincoln's portrait, designed by Victor David Brenner in 1909, conveys a sense of gravitas, stability, and moral authority. Above Lincoln's head is inscribed, "In God We Trust," to the left is "Liberty," and to the right is the date, 1966. The reverse side showcases the Lincoln Memorial, which was introduced in 1959 to commemorate the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. A small statue of Lincoln can be seen inside the memorial, making this coin unique among U.S. coins. Lincoln appears on both sides. During its circulation, the 1966 penny played a quiet but essential role. People used it for everyday transactions, from small purchases to change and cash registers. Despite being common in appearance, its history makes it highly interesting to collectors and historians alike. Collectors often seek minting errors in 1966 pennies. Common errors include die cracks, double strikes, or weak impressions. Although these coins were produced in the millions, such errors are rare and therefore more valuable. The 1966 Lincoln penny is also important from an educational perspective. It helps beginners understand concepts like mint marks, coin composition, and historical context. By studying this coin, collectors can trace the effects of government policy on everyday money. Condition plays a key role in valuation. A worn, circulated 1966 penny usually holds only face value. However, coins in uncirculated condition, showing full luster and sharp details, are highly prized. Proof versions, struck for collectors, exhibit mirror-like surfaces and fine detail, further increasing interest. Economically, the 1966 penny is a reflection of the times. The U.S. Mint was managing coin shortages and trying to stabilize the currency during a period of uncertainty. Removing mint marks was a simple but effective policy to discourage hoarding and ensure coins remained available for commerce. Culturally, this coin also represents the 1960s America. While the country was undergoing rapid social change, coins like this remained a constant presence. For collectors, children, and everyday users alike, the 1966 penny connects people to a unique historical period. In conclusion, the 1966 United States Lincoln penny may appear simple, but its story is rich. It reflects government policy, economic pressure, and historical context. Every detail, from its composition to the missing mint mark, tells a story of adaptation and continuity. This is only the first chapter of the 1966 Lincoln Penny story. Further exploration into collector demand, error coins, grading, and market trends reveals even deeper significance. Next coin, the 1981 Lincoln Penny, may appear small and ordinary, but behind this 1-cent coin lies a powerful story of economics, history, change, and survival. To truly understand the importance of the 1981 penny, we must look beyond its size and face value. This coin represents a turning point in American coinage, a moment when tradition met economic reality. The Lincoln cent has been part of American life since 1909. For generations, it has passed through the hands of workers, children, shopkeepers, and collectors. It has witnessed wars, economic booms, depressions, and technological revolutions. By the time 1981 arrived, the penny was no longer just a coin, it was a symbol of continuity in a rapidly changing world. The early 1980s were difficult years for the United States economy. Inflation was high, unemployment was rising, and the cost of raw materials was increasing rapidly. Copper, the main metal used in pennies for decades, became expensive. The cost to produce a penny was getting dangerously close to its face value. This created a serious problem for the government. How do you keep producing money when the metal itself costs too much? The 1981 Lincoln penny was born in the middle of this crisis. It stands at the edge of two eras, the traditional copper-based penny era and the modern zinc-based era. Most pennies from 1981 were made using copper-plated zinc, a cheaper alternative that helped reduce production costs. This quiet change would permanently transform the penny. On the obverse, or front side, the 1981 penny features Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States. Lincoln's portrait was designed by Victor David Brenner and has remained largely unchanged for decades. Lincoln's calm yet serious expression reflects leadership, sacrifice, and moral strength. He is remembered as the man who preserved the Union and abolished slavery. Above Lincoln's head are the words, "In God We Trust," a phrase that became the official motto of the United States in 1956. To the left is the word, "Liberty," representing freedom, one of the core values of the nation. To the right is the date, 1981, quietly marking this coin's place in history. The reverse side of the coin shows the Lincoln Memorial, one of the most iconic monuments in Washington, D.C. Introduced in 1959, this design honored the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. Inside the memorial, visible with careful observation, is a tiny statue of Lincoln seated. This makes the Lincoln penny unique because Lincoln appears on both sides of the coin. In 1981, pennies were produced at 3 main mint facilities. Coins without a mint mark were struck in Philadelphia. Coins with a D mint mark came from Denver. Coins with an S mint mark were produced in San Francisco and were usually proof coins made specifically for collectors. Proof coins are struck with special care, using polished dies to create mirror-like surfaces. The Philadelphia and Denver mints produced hundreds of millions of pennies in 1981. Because of this high mintage, the coin is considered common in circulated condition. However, common does not mean meaningless. Every one of these coins tells the story of an economy under pressure and a nation adapting to change. One of the most fascinating aspects of the 1981 penny is its metal composition. While earlier pennies were solid copper, the newer copper-plated zinc pennies had a thin copper coating over a zinc core. This change reduced costs but also made the coins more vulnerable to corrosion and damage. Over time, many zinc pennies developed bubbles, peeling, or discoloration. Collectors today often perform simple tests to determine whether a penny is copper or zinc. Weight is one of the most common methods. Copper pennies weigh about 3.11 grams, while zinc pennies weigh about 2.5 grams. This small difference helps collectors identify transitional coins. The value of a 1981 Lincoln penny depends heavily on condition. A heavily circulated penny with scratches, wear, and dull color is usually worth face value. However, an uncirculated coin with full original luster can be worth significantly more. Proof coins from San Francisco are even more desirable, especially if they are well preserved. Error coins also play a major role in collector interest. Errors such as doubled dies, off-center strikes, missing letters, or plating issues can transform an ordinary penny into a valuable collectible. These errors occurred due to mechanical problems during the minting process and are closely studied by numismatists. The 1981 penny also reflects changing attitudes toward small denominations. By the early 1980s, many Americans were questioning whether the penny was still useful. Inflation had reduced its purchasing power, and some argued that it cost more to make than it was worth. These debates continue even today. Despite these concerns, the penny survived. It continued to circulate, teaching children how to count money, filling piggy banks, and serving as a reminder of American tradition. The 1981 penny represents resilience, adaptability, and continuity. From a cultural perspective, the Lincoln penny is deeply emotional for many people. It is often the first coin a child ever holds. It represents small beginnings, savings, and lessons about value. Even in an age of digital payments, the penny remains a tangible connection to the past. Collectors around the world study Lincoln pennies because they provide a clear timeline of American history. Changes in design, metal composition, and minting technology are all visible through these coins. The 1981 penny occupies a special place in this timeline. In conclusion, the 1981 Lincoln penny is far more than a 1-cent coin. It is a historical artifact that reflects economic pressure, technological change, and national identity. It reminds us that even the smallest objects can carry powerful stories. This is only the beginning of the 1981 Lincoln penny's story. Its deeper collector market, rare varieties, advanced grading, and long-term significance deserve further exploration. Next coin, the 1986 Lincoln penny represents the mature phase of modern American coinage. By the mid-1980s, the United States had already gone through major economic shifts, metal transitions, and changes in public attitude toward small denominations. The penny was still in circulation, still widely used, but its role was slowly changing. The 1986 penny stands as a quiet witness to this transformation. To understand the importance of the 1986 Lincoln penny, we must first look at where it sits in history. The classic copper penny era was already over. Rising metal costs during the late 1970s and early 1980s had forced the U.S. Mint to abandon solid copper cents. By 1986, the system had fully adjusted to copper-plated zinc composition, and production had become stable again. The 1986 penny was struck using a zinc core coated with a thin layer of copper. This allowed the coin to retain its traditional appearance while significantly reducing manufacturing costs. To the average person, the coin looked no different from earlier pennies. But to collectors and historians, it marked a clear divide between old-world metal value and modern cost efficiency. On the obverse side of the coin appears Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States. His portrait, designed by Victor David Brenner, had already been in use for more than 70 years by 1986. This continuity gave the penny a strong sense of identity. Even as metals and economics changed, Lincoln's image remained constant. Above Lincoln's head is the inscription, "In God We Trust," a phrase that reflects national faith and resilience. To the left is "Liberty," symbolizing freedom, and to the right is the date, 1986, quietly anchoring the coin in its time. The reverse side continues the long-standing Lincoln Memorial design, first introduced in 1959. The memorial is not just an architectural image, it represents unity, sacrifice, and remembrance. Inside the memorial, a small statue of Lincoln can be seen seated, making this one of the rare coins where the same historical figure appears on both sides. By 1986, the United States Mint was operating at full modern capacity. Pennies were struck primarily at two locations, Philadelphia, which used no mint mark, and Denver, which used the D mint mark. San Francisco also produced pennies, but these were mostly proof coins, intended for collectors rather than everyday circulation. Millions upon millions of 1986 pennies were produced. This massive output makes the coin common today. In circulated condition, most 1986 pennies are worth only their face value. However, value in numismatics is not defined by rarity alone. Historical placement, condition, and minting quality all matter. One important aspect of the 1986 penny is condition sensitivity. Because zinc pennies are more vulnerable than copper ones, they can easily suffer from corrosion, bubbling, and surface damage if exposed to moisture. As a result, well-preserved 1986 pennies with full original luster are becoming harder to find over time. Collectors pay close attention to uncirculated examples of the 1986 penny. Coins that show no wear, sharp details, and bright surfaces are more desirable. Proof coins from San Francisco, struck with polished dies, display mirror-like fields and frosted details, making them especially attractive. Another area of interest is mint errors. Although most 1986 pennies are ordinary, some were struck with errors such as off-center strikes, doubled dies, weak strikes, or plating defects. These errors occurred due to mechanical issues during the minting process and can significantly increase a coin's value. The 1986 Lincoln penny also reflects broader social changes. During the 1980s, cash was still dominant, but electronic payments were beginning to emerge. Credit cards were becoming more common, and the idea of a cashless future was slowly taking shape. In this environment, the penny remained a symbol of everyday transactions and small values. Culturally, the penny still played an important role. It was used in school lessons, charity jars, vending machines, and savings banks. Children learned the basics of money using coins like the 1986 penny. In many ways, this coin represents the last generation to grow up fully connected to physical currency. From a collector's perspective, the 1986 penny is often underestimated. While it lacks the romance of early copper cents or the excitement of rare dates, it offers insight into modern minting practices and economic adaptation. It teaches collectors to look beyond rarity and focus on preservation, errors, and context. The Lincoln Memorial design would continue until 2008, meaning the 1986 penny sits comfortably in the middle of this long design era. It is neither the beginning nor the end, but a strong example of stability. Coins like this help historians understand how a nation maintains continuity during periods of change. In conclusion, the 1986 Lincoln penny is a coin of balance. It balances tradition with modernity, appearance with practicality, and history with economics. It may be small and common, but its story is layered and meaningful. This is only the first chapter of the 1986 Lincoln penny's story. Its collector market trends, grading standards, rare varieties, and future potential deserve deeper exploration. Next coin. The 1996 United States Lincoln penny belongs to a period of stability, technology, and transition. By the mid-1990s, the American economy had largely recovered from earlier inflationary pressures, and coin production had become highly efficient. The penny was still widely circulated, still familiar, and still symbolic, even though its purchasing power had become very small. To understand the 1996 Lincoln penny, we must look at its place in the long history of the Lincoln cent. Introduced in 1909, the Lincoln penny had already been in circulation for nearly 90 years by 1996. Few coin designs in the world have lasted so long with such strong public recognition. By the 1990s, the Lincoln cent was no longer just money, it was tradition. The 1996 penny was produced during a time when the United States Mint had fully adapted to modern coin manufacturing. Advanced machinery, strict quality control, and massive production capacity allowed the mint to strike hundreds of millions of pennies each year. As a result, the 1996 penny is considered a high mintage, common coin, but common does not mean unimportant. In terms of composition, the 1996 Lincoln penny is made of copper-plated zinc, a standard formula that had been in use since the early 1980s. The coin consists of a zinc core coated with a thin layer of copper, giving it the traditional copper appearance while keeping production costs low. This composition reflects the economic reality of modern coinage, where efficiency matters more than metal value. On the obverse side, the coin features the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. Lincoln's image had remained largely unchanged for decades, providing a sense of continuity and national identity. Above his head appears the inscription, "In God We Trust." To the left is the word, "Liberty," and to the right is the date, 1996. Lincoln's portrait on the penny represents leadership, unity, and moral strength. By the time of the 1996 penny, Lincoln had become more than a historical figure. He was a national symbol, instantly recognized by people of all ages. The penny helped keep his image present in everyday life. The reverse side of the 1996 penny displays the Lincoln Memorial, a design first introduced in 1959. The memorial stands as a tribute to Lincoln's legacy and to the ideals of democracy and freedom. If examined closely, a small seated statue of Lincoln can be seen inside the memorial, making this one of the rare coins where the same individual appears on both sides. Above the memorial is the Latin phrase, e pluribus unum, meaning, out of many, one. Below are the words, 1 cent, and, United States of America. This reverse design had been used for decades by 1996 and was deeply embedded in American culture. The 1996 Lincoln penny was minted at multiple locations. Coins without a mint mark were produced in Philadelphia, while coins with a D mint mark were produced in Denver. The San Francisco Mint produced proof versions of the 1996 penny, intended specifically for collectors rather than general circulation. Because of the massive number of coins struck in 1996, most examples found today are circulated. In worn condition, these pennies are usually worth face value. However, condition plays a critical role in numismatics. Well-preserved, uncirculated 1996 pennies with full luster are becoming more difficult to find over time. Proof coins from San Francisco are especially popular among collectors. These coins were struck using polished dies and special planchettes, resulting in sharp details and mirror-like surfaces. Proof pennies are not meant for everyday use and are usually kept in protective cases. The 1996 penny also reflects changing attitudes toward physical money. During the 1990s, electronic banking, debit cards, and early online transactions were becoming more common. Even so, coins like the penny remained essential for cash transactions, vending machines, and everyday purchases. For collectors, the 1996 Lincoln penny serves as an excellent educational coin. It helps beginners learn about mint marks, coin grading, proof versus circulation strikes, and modern coin composition. Many collectors start their Lincoln cent collections with coins from this era. Another area of interest is minting errors. While rare, errors such as off-center strikes, double dies, die cracks, or plating defects can appear on 1996 pennies. These errors occur during the minting process and can significantly increase a coin's value if properly authenticated. Historically, the 1996 penny sits near the end of the Lincoln Memorial design era. In later years, the reverse design would change, marking a new chapter in the Lincoln cent series. This makes the 1996 penny part of the closing phase of a long-running design tradition. Culturally, the penny still played a role in daily life. It was used in savings jars, charity donations, school lessons, and small cash transactions. For many people, pennies from the 1990s are tied to childhood memories and everyday routines. In conclusion, the 1996 United States Lincoln penny is a coin of consistency and continuity. It represents a stable economy, advanced technology, and the lasting power of tradition. While it may be common, it carries the weight of nearly a century of history. This is only the beginning of the 1996 Lincoln penny's story. Its collector demand, error varieties, grading standards, and long-term significance deserve deeper exploration. Final coin. The 1996 Canadian 1 cent coin represents a unique chapter in Canada's monetary and cultural history. Unlike American pennies, which focus on Abraham Lincoln and the Lincoln Memorial, Canadian pennies proudly celebrate the nation itself, using national symbols and reflecting Canada's heritage. The 1996 1 cent coin was issued during a period of relative stability in Canada. The economy was healthy, inflation was controlled, and the production of small denominations remained essential for everyday commerce. Despite being a low-value coin, the 1 cent played a key role in transactions, education, and cultural identity. The reverse of the coin displays the maple leaf, Canada's most recognized national symbol. The maple leaf has represented Canada for centuries and is featured prominently on the national flag. On the 1996 coin, the single maple leaf design was used, showing simplicity and elegance while reflecting pride and unity. The design communicates a strong sense of Canadian identity in a way that transcends monetary value. The obverse features Queen Elizabeth II, representing Canada's constitutional monarchy and historical ties to the British Crown. By 1996, Queen Elizabeth II had been depicted on Canadian coins for decades, serving as a symbol of continuity and national stability. Her portrait on the penny connects everyday Canadians to a larger historical narrative. The 1996 Canadian cent was made using copper-plated zinc, similar to American pennies of the time. This composition gave the coin a warm reddish hue while keeping production costs low. Like all pennies, the 1996 Canadian cent was small in size but large in symbolism, reminding citizens of the nation's shared values. These pennies were produced in very large numbers. As a result, most circulated coins from 1996 are common. However, the coin is not merely a utilitarian object. It carries cultural significance and is often collected for its design, historical context, and connection to Canadian identity. Collector interest in the 1996 Canadian penny includes seeking proof coins, which were specially produced for collectors with mirror-like surfaces and sharp details. Collectors also look for minting errors, such as off-center strikes, doubled dies, or missing elements, which can significantly increase the coin's value. The 1996 penny also represents the era just before Canada discontinued the 1-cent coin in 2012. At the time, pennies were still widely used, but rising production costs and inflation were reducing their practicality. As a result, the 1996 penny stands as part of the last generation of Canadian pennies intended for circulation. From an educational standpoint, the penny served as a tool for teaching children how to handle money, make change, and understand value. It also appeared in charitable collections, vending machines, and casual everyday transactions. Even though its monetary value was low, its cultural and practical significance was high. The 1996 Canadian penny also reflects the careful balance Canada sought between tradition and modernization. While the economy and society were modernizing rapidly, the continued production of the 1-cent coin emphasized the importance of continuity, national pride, and accessible currency for all citizens. In conclusion, the 1996 Canadian 1-cent coin is much more than a piece of metal. It is a symbol of national identity, cultural continuity, and everyday life in Canada. Small in size but significant in meaning, this coin connects Canadians to their history, heritage, and shared values. This is only the beginning of the 1996 Canadian penny's story. Its collector demand, error varieties, grading, and long-term significance deserve further detailed exploration. If you enjoy discovering the fascinating history behind coins, rare collectibles, and hidden stories, make sure to smash that like button right now. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you never miss an update from our coin adventures. And hey, share this video with your friends, family, or anyone who loves coins. Let's spread the joy of collecting together. Now, let's dive into today's amazing coin story. Transition animation to main coin. Story.